The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Those are the words of Mahatma Gandhi, and he is definitely someone who would know. For most of us, being of service is often more of an abstract idea rather than something we strive to do with any intention. In this special service in LA, we hope to shine a light on some uniformed elites who practice service as a vocation and a calling.
I'm feeling mixed emotions. I'm joy, proud, just excited to hit the streets and make a difference.
A proud moment for Rodrigo Soria as he officially becomes part of the force at the Los Angeles Police Department, the second largest in the nation. He and 51 others and their families gathered at the Academy's graduation ceremony to mark the transition.
What stands out for me the most is what the badge represents. It's known across the world, not just the nation, across the world, and that's something that stands out to me the most. It's regarded as one of the best academies in the nation, and I'm proud to have completed it.
Officer Soria, a resident of the San Fernando Valley, worked in retail before joining the LAPD, and that's where he made friends with a few police officers who guided him into being a cop.
When I was 18 working for Nordstrom, the Los Angeles Police Department officers would respond to our store to pick up the shoplifters, and then just the positive interactions that I had with them encouraging me, giving me guidance, pushing me towards applying and leaving that job behind, is something that really did it for me.
Lorena is Officer Soria's mom. She says that the police academy helped her son become a man who wants to be a positive role model.
He has taken an oath to serve his community, and he's going to do it to the best of his ability. I feel very proud.
They represent the best of the City of Angels. We've chosen very carefully. It's difficult to become a police officer in this city because of the rigors that we require, not just your emotional intelligence and physical capabilities, but your heart. What's your character?
Officer Sampson is feeling all kinds of emotions as his career starts with the LAPD. Originally from Tampa, Florida, and a veteran from the Navy, he's excited for his new chapter as an LAPD officer.
It's almost unreal. I almost can't believe it, how far I've come compared to where I was the first day.
And now, as part of the LAPD family, these officers will protect and serve us all.
The visiting military ships from LA's Fleet Week may have sailed off into the sunset, but through the magic of television, we can still hop on board.
What did you think of the tour?
I thought it was cool. I would recommend it to my family.
A total of 6 visiting ships have docked in San Pedro for free public tours through Labor Day weekend. Let's go inside.
First up, the USS Scout, a Navy vessel that searches and destroys mines.
The most unique thing I would say about a minesweeper is that we're actually made mostly of wood, Douglas fir, as opposed to like the other warships that are made of metals. We have check shapes is what we call these, dummy mines, so we'll put them in the water and we'll practice hunting on these. So we have this mine here and then another type here. And so when I say mine hunt, we use our mine neutralization vehicle, which is right here. We also have another one up on one level.
The USS Scout is based in San Diego. Next stop, the U.S. Coast Guard's Cutter Alert.
We operate off the coast of the U.S. and Central America, and we're looking for typically counter-narcotics. So narcotics being smuggled from South and Central America.
Flashback to last summer. The Cutter Alert seized 12,000 pounds of cocaine from suspected drug traffickers while on patrol near Central America. Their biggest bust to date took nearly 2 months to complete.
We have electronic charting, radars, and then the helm where we steer, and then our engine controls.
Now let's visit the USS Tulsa, a new combat vessel with a hull made of aluminum. Notice the walls and ceiling. Aluminum is much lighter than steel.
This ship is unique because we are built for speed, maneuverability, agility, and we are built to go into shallow water. So we are faster than most other ships you see here in LA Fleet Week. The only ship that's faster than us is an aircraft carrier.
You know what else was fast? Fleet Week itself. Just 4 days for the public and our military to enjoy. We'll see you all again next year.
A lot more than just giant ships have sailed in for LA Fleet Week at the Port of Los Angeles. This military village is a hands-on theater for all things armed forces related. kids of every age try out machine guns, mortars, and missiles, and just about anything that goes bang. They watch demos like the one at this medical battalion tent, and they hobnob with the military men who man the front lines while protecting our country. Others play chopper pilot for a day. You can also hop on a Humvee, a MAT-V, and all manner of tanks and machines. Another big draw, robots, big and small.
It was something fun to do today, and they get to see our military climb all over all the stuff, look at all the guns. Her daddy was a Marine, so.
There's so much to see here. Look at this robot. It's designed to pick up bombs and photograph them without anyone getting close. And that's not all. There's mortars of all sizes, homemade explosives. This is an actual one that was found in Syria. And look at this landmine. It's enough to take out an armored truck.
I just love our military and what they do to keep our country safe despite everything that's going on in the country. I honor them every day and I salute them.
How about getting 100 pounds of bomb suit on you?
It feels like I have like 15 sandbags on me. Like, yeah, it's heavy. It's a good workout, I'll tell you that much.
But if a workout is what you want, you can get that too at this military obstacle course. Among the obstacles, 200-pound tractor tires, football throws through tiny openings, and 100-pound sandbags. You have to run backwards with them too.
Then they carry it over as if they have a human being live on their backs.
This was a fun course. I like how they had it set up. Got my heart rate going, the arms a little tired, but it's fun.
Then there's some crazy stepladder running square thing that proves a bit challenging for some.
Doing the where you gotta run in between the squares and everything like that. Those ones got me because I'm not that coordinated, so I can't do it very fast.
Wait a minute, this 11-year-old girl can do it.
Well, I really love archery. I really love running. I love everything with sports.
It was pretty difficult, yeah. It was a little out of my comfort zone, but that's what I like to do, put myself out there, so.
This guy has the top record time so far.
Somebody else beats my time, I would like to come back and beat that again.
But for all the fun, LA Fleet Week reminds many of what being patriotic is all about.
I'm a Vietnam vet, and then I come here every day to commemorate my brothers that could not make it. Say thank you, no matter what. Vietnam vet or whatever, even today, I thank them all the time. If you are a true believer of the United States and what we are proud to do, it's like Kennedy said, you know, not what your country can do for you, is what you can do for your country.
We're here again, right here in North Hollywood for the St. Baldricks fundraiser that LAFD and LAPD put on every single year right here at this station. And it's a terrific opportunity to bring the community together in supporting research and prevention of childhood cancers.
Whenever we can step forward and take a lead role as a Los Angeles Fire Department, we want to do that to further the cause and the ability to raise funds for this very, very important cause.
We actually started doing this in 2003, and my child at that time was a 4-year-old who was going through cancer treatment. And I found out that the fire station here was doing a St. Baldricks event, and I asked them if I could join them. And that started a partnership that we've been doing ever since. I think the chief did a great job. I haven't seen it yet, but it feels good, and it's a little cooler, but I can certainly feel those sun rays coming on me too now.
It was better cutting than it was being cut, but I want to throw a shout out to Lieutenant Greg Doyle. His leadership in putting the Baldricks event together each year just speaks to his character, his perseverance and support of such a worthy cause.
Well, today is our annual Fire Service Recognition Day here at Fire Station 88. This event has been happening since 1956. So the 63 years now we've been doing this. I think the main purpose is to let the community know what their firefighters do and look at it from the inside out, inside the fire station.
We came over this afternoon. We're close by neighbors, and so we came to check out the firehouse.
Oh, I think it's a great thing. It really, makes the kids much more willing to approach a firefighter, a paramedic, a police officer anytime that there's an issue.
I'm here in honor of all the firefighters, and my daughter is absolutely in love with fire trucks, ambulance, police officers, anyone in uniform.
This is our second home. We eat here, we sleep here, we exercise here, we train here as well. And to have the kids out here, they can benefit from seeing what it's like to become a firefighter.
Definitely want to encourage him and see kind of all the intricate details of what firefighters and these people that really just sacrifice their life to protect and serve. I think it's really good for the neighborhood. It brings a sense of family, community. So this is just one more layer that adds to making this community so good.
I think that when the sirens are on, that means someone needs help. Yeah, I think everything is gonna be okay because the firemen are gonna help them and make them heal better.
These guys are heroes, It's just very touching to me that I know I'm safe here in my neighborhood.
As bagpipes played in the background, hundreds of police, firefighters, and political leaders remembered fallen heroes from September 11th.
We were attacked as a nation for what we stood for. And our response is what we stand for. And what we stand for is each other.
The police chief and others gathered at the LAFD's training center in Elysian Park to reflect on a day that changed so many lives. A day when nearly 3,000 people died as terrorists flew passenger planes into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
We learned later that day that 3 of those 4 planes were headed to our city of Angels, and the 4th to our sister city in the north in San Francisco.
For those too young to remember the attacks, events like this bring attention to that fateful day 18 years ago.
I think it's important that we have functions like this to teach the lessons of 9/11, the sacrifices that were made to our younger people. It's very important.
Other guests in the audience included members of the City Council and the LA County Board of Supervisors.
I was back in Washington, D.C. on September 11th and watched the Pentagon burn, and actually had 2 college friends that perished in the World Trade Center. So this has a special meaning for me as well.
9/11 reminds us of those words we will never forget, and those words have been embedded in our hearts and minds even 18 years later.
Some of the people who died were first responders who rushed into burning buildings knowing they might not make it out alive. And tragically, many did not.
To our comrades, their last alarm, they are going home.
More and more Los Angeles residents are reminded that wildfire season isn't just a season anymore, it's all year long. And it brings with it concern, uncertainty, and the possibility of some real serious danger. But there are some steps we can all take to be better prepared. And Los Angeles Fire Chief Ralph Terrazas is here to talk about wildfires and about preparedness. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the Saddle Ridge fire. Tell us the scope of it, and can you bring us up to date on what's happening?
I was at home watching the news, and I saw the report of the fire, and I saw a visual from a news helicopter. When I saw that visual image, I thought we were going to lose several hundred homes because of the wind. We were able to
mitigate that incident. We lost 17 homes. We saved thousands. We lost 17 homes, and the loss of one home is a big disappointment. And we're always looking to see how can we do better next time.
What more should the public know to keep us all safe?
I think the thing that I would ask there is that the public sign up for Notify LA. Text 888-777. If you want to know more specifics about what you need to do, you can go to our website at LAFD.org. There you'll find information like you should trim all the tree limbs that hang above your house. You should clear the gutters from leaves and pine needles, anything that will ignite. So those tips and many more tips will be found on that website.
Well, thank you for doing a wonderful job for saving so many homes and so many lives in Los Angeles. Thank you for joining us today. Well,
thank you for having me. I'm very proud of the men and women of the Los Angeles City Fire Department. I believe we're the finest fire department in the world, and I say that on a regular basis because I truly believe that. We have a great group of men and women who are dedicated professionals, dedicated to the safety of the people of Los Angeles.
The late Senator John McCain once said, "Every day, people serve their neighbors in our nation in many different ways, from helping a child learn and easing the loneliness of those without a family, to defending our freedom overseas. It is in this spirit of dedication to others and to our country that I believe service should be broadly and deeply encouraged." We couldn't have said it better, Senator. Here's a look at some Angelinos aspiring to be and succeeding at making a difference through service.
This is a big open house here in Hollywood at the Los Angeles Police Department Hollywood Division, celebrating 150 years of the LAPD.
We have the community, we have citizens that live in Hollywood, outside of Hollywood, business owners, politicians. Everyone that is part of the Hollywood community has been invited to talk with the officers, to visit the station, to celebrate the historic background of Hollywood Police Division.
I've always found the officers here in Hollywood to be extremely friendly and outgoing and wanting to know what's going on in the neighborhood.
There's all sorts of fun things, delicious food, performances by local children's groups, and of course in celebration of public safety and the 300 men and women who serve Hollywood in the Los Angeles Police Department.
I'm always kind of thrilled at the comfort and the support that I see from the community for the police and vice versa.
911 emergency operator 230.
LA's 911 dispatch center is now in the middle of training all its 911 operators so that they stay ahead of the curve. That's because the state of California is getting ready to change to its next-gen 911 system, and LA will be ready. In fact, part of its program will go on board this month. As this on-the-job training shows, LA is indeed jumping the gun when it comes to the new cutting-edge technology.
Well, Next Gen 911 is all about being capable of getting videotape from the public, and if you're in a high-rise building, we can pinpoint what floor you're on or what room you're in. Right now, we're talking about California in November 2021. Eventually, the whole nation will be involved with this.
And sometime this month, the computerized part of the program will kick in at LA's 2 dispatch centers, one in downtown LA and one in the Valley.
We went from our flip phone, and now I think this is a smartphone. It's a smart computer.
All this while the center handles its usual workload of as many as 11,000 calls a day. 911 dispatchers not only field calls from the public, they mobilize the officers who respond.
They are lifesavers. I call it proactive dispatching.
I took a suicide call, and a gentleman wanted to take his life. And I said, "Was anybody with you?" And he said, "Just me and my dog." And I asked him, "Well, who's going to take care of your dog when you leave?" He's like, "Well, I didn't think about it." It was rewarding to me that I saved him and his dog.
Besides all the calls, many of the 911 dispatchers are also instructors. Miguel Estrada has a new trainee, Selena Guerrero.
What's the name of the church?
We do a lot of prompting, like if the questions
okay, ask her this, ask her that.
Does she have any weapons?
Okay. Does she have any weapons?
I just had a shooting call, and yeah, the lady was frantic, so I wasn't able to get the information I needed from her right away. So it was trying to calm her down to get the information.
So was that a scary trial by fire kind of moment?
Yeah.
We put them through extensive training, and by extensive I mean weeks and weeks and weeks of training.
And did you know some of these dispatchers get to go to the Emmys and Oscars and other big LA events? They help with emergency calls there, well, virtually, not in person.
I'm at a separate location, so I'm not dressed in a gown.
911 is also trying online reporting for certain calls. For example, during 4th of July or New Year's Eve, you can get an app and report fireworks or loud parties online.
July the 4th, for an example, we take up to 16,000 emergency calls that day. When you're calling 911, you are tying up the system for real emergencies.
And that next real emergency could be your own. Whether dispatch operators can answer it within 15 seconds or half an hour could make all the difference.
Edgar Diaz has always wanted to be a Los Angeles firefighter.
It's been a childhood dream of mine. I've attempted it before, and as I mentioned earlier, I just didn't feel like I was ready for it at that time.
After trying out a few years ago, he realized he wasn't quite up to the physical demands. Now the licensed vocational nurse says he's ready to give it another try.
Once I got into the rhythm and the flow of things, I started to find my own way through the course, so I thought it was good.
Edgar was one of about a dozen candidates on a recent Wednesday at the LAFD's training center near Dodger Stadium. They were there to practice for the CPAT. That's the Candidate Physical Ability Test.
It's an opportunity for a person to come in and see what they need to work on. Again, if this career is really something they want to participate in for the future.
One of the tests that prospective candidates take is the mannequin drag, where they simulate a victim rescue. It goes something like this. And I gotta tell you, this is tough. Whew.
They also had to run with a fire hose, raise a ladder just like in the field, carry chainsaws across the room, and walk on a stair climber wearing a 50-pound vest plus additional shoulder weights.
So basically the added weight that you have, the vest is going to be simulating our breathing apparatus. The added weights on the shoulders are going to be simulating a hose pack, the helmet, glove for safety. And so you're going to be participating on basically what would be a high-rise investigation.
The 10-minute training course is free and mirrors a day in the life of a real firefighter.
We're right now currently in the hiring process for the Los Angeles Fire Department, and it serves an opportunity for any member, for any fire service, it's not solely for LAFD, to come and participate and see if this is a career for them.
Edgar hopes he'll make the cut.
It's a profession I look up to, and I would love the opportunity to show what I have to offer, what I can bring to the city, and a city that's given me so much more.
To sign up for a session, head over to eventbrite.com and search LAFD CPAT Practice.
Today we have our Girls Fire Camp. It's a 2-day introductory camp where we teach girls how to become firefighters, or what it takes.
And it's raining today, so I think it's really exciting that 92 young girls from across the city showed up on a rainy day to participate in fire camp. There's about 3,200 firefighters in the fire department, and about 116 are women, so that's about 3%. We have to do more to incentivize women to see themselves in a career in fire service.
We want to have a diverse fire department so that we can better serve our communities, and one way to do that is to get more female firefighters in the department.
And we're trying to create a buddy system where these girls not only make new friends, but also create the network so that they can have a relationship with a woman firefighter. Nice.
Well, the firefighting career is amazing. You get tremendous gratitude from helping people. Our goal for our department is to reach 5% of our workforce. So we are actively recruiting men and women, but today's event is especially targeting our young females.
I see many opportunities for other young ladies like me.
If you have dreams or if you want to succeed something in life, you should always go for it.
It's actually a good opportunity, I have to say that.
Homelessness is the defining civic issue of our time. It has moral content that cannot be ignored, and each of us has a part to play in helping to resolve what many choose to describe as a humanitarian crisis.
Armed with safety vests and flashlights, volunteers prepared to venture out in the cold for the largest homeless census in the United States.
The crisis demands our focus and determination to do more and to build more.
The Coffrin family, who up until recently had experienced homelessness, were among the thousands of volunteers taking part in this mission of mercy, the Greater LA Homeless Count.
It mattered to us to not forget where we came from, and we never forget where we came from, and we're always reminding both our boys that, you know, there are other people who went through the same thing, and if anything, much worse even sometimes, and for longer periods.
But we know that counting is the beginning of caring, and caring is the beginning of acting, and acting is the beginning of solving.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti helped rally the troops at a permanent supportive housing complex in North Hollywood. The good news, homelessness across LA County dropped 3% last year. The bad news, increases in the San Fernando Valley.
My entire district has experienced an increase in homelessness, particularly communities like Van Nuys and Panorama City. So it definitely will dictate where the resources are at, but also, I'm interested to know where folks are coming from as well.
We catch up with the team at North Hollywood's Valley Plaza Park, where it's a brisk 52 degrees out here tonight. Slightly uncomfortable for us, but far worse for those who have to sleep out here tonight. What do you count? Just you have vehicles,
sure.
People?
RVs, tents, anything that would represent a person who's unhoused. We need to count all of that.
We spot 2 RVs right off the bat. Katie Tell, an LA Family Housing employee, volunteers tonight without pay.
For me to really just see firsthand the stories, the situations that our clients are living in is really key.
The last time I was here, there were a lot more folks, and as you've seen, there's very few people so far in the park. Some vehicles, but not that many, and that hope that the efforts up here in the San Fernando Valley are working to end homelessness so far are paying off. We'll see how the whole count goes.
The group counted 6 at Valley Plaza Park before moving on to another location. So they just missed Rudy Martinez, who told us he lost his arm in a train accident.
Wandering out here in the streets because I came out of the hospital and everything, so I'm just here just looking for blankets.
Where are you going to sleep?
Right here in the park.
Temperatures at the park would end up dipping into the 40s.
By showing up tonight, by getting out to count, we are saying to our homeless neighbors, we see you. We are here for you, and you count.
We hope you've enjoyed Service in LA. A reminder that you can catch this and other specials online at lacityview.org and on YouTube. Until next time, I'm Umayma Rashid. To all the everyday heroes who care, encourage, and protect, thank you for your service.